episode of our live stream. And yeah, so today I thought we should talk about the new Pope. Um, and oops, sorry about that. Sorry. I mean the new Pope. And that was actually a joke because that guy does think he's the Pope. So yes. So yeah, this is the new Pope. His name is Leo, Pope Leo. And I guess he's was in Cuba for a long time, and then he's also from Chicago. I guess born and raised in Chicago, the first American Pope. I'm an American Pope. I'm coming to your town. Dun, 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 dun. I'm an American Pope. Okay, so yes, so yes, I don't know if he is. I don't know what the situation is with this guy. I think he is a little bit more conservative than Francis. Um, you know, he's he seems like he's anti-Trump. He's done a lot of anti-Trump stuff, and he was anti J.D. Vance, and he's so. Uh, is there such a song? Well, the song is we're an American band. We're coming to your town. We're gonna run it down. We're an American band. Oh, really? Really? Well, I don't know if the Catholic Church can endure another radical leftist. You know, um, I don't know if he is. Wow, if he is, I wonder if because like the church in Africa, especially the Catholic Church in Africa, they got brains, unlike Westerners, and they still have a conscience, and so they still believe in the Bible. They still believe in the Bible in Africa, unlike in Europe and America, and so they won't agree. I don't think they'll agree. I mean, they had a really big problem with Francis, and I don't know if they're going to put up with another 20 years or whatever of this guy. Um, Official papal bull: the new pope from Chicago has declared Chicago. Really? Pineapple is only allowed. Yeah. Well, I would expect them to have fish pizza on Friday. Because I think Catholics eat fish on Friday. Usually they fast meat on Friday. So anyway, I don't know what's going on with this guy. To be honest, I've looked for information on him, and let's see if we can find some information. It's Leo the 14th. Okay, he wanted the name. I know that he wanted to be Leo the 14th. Um, um, because he liked former Leos. Okay, let's see. Actually, I want to go with this one. It says 10 key facts about Pope Leo. And the reason you guys, it's not, okay, just during Lent, you guys fast. Okay. All right. Well, I don't know if it's going to mean something that he's an American. Uh, oh, really? To tell the joke. So cool. There was another joke there was another joke, radical moderate. since you said it, that since he is from Chicago, they're going to make the communion wafers deep dish. And so, sorry guys, that was a terrible joke. Please forgive me. So, but I heard that joke today. So let's look at some facts about this guy here. Okay, he's the first American and Peruvian pope. Okay, so he was born September 14th, 1955 in Chicago. Wow, he's not, wow. He's only like, I was born in 1963, so there's only like 8 years between us. And my birthday's August 26th. If anybody ever remembered and felt convicted to buy me something or send money, it's August 26th. August 26th is 18 days before September 14th. And so the Pope's birthday is September 14th, which is 18 days after my birthday, which is August 26th. And so just, a way to remember the Pope's birthday is to remember that it is 18 days after my birthday. And my birthday is August 26th. So, okay. Yeah, to a French-Italian father and a Spanish mother. He holds dual citizenship, United States and Peru, and became a Peruvian citizen after decades of missionary and pastoral work there. Okay. He was born in Chicago, so he's a Native American. Wow. Okay, he's Augustinian. Okay, now there was something about this, about him being Augustinian. Pope Leo is the first member of the Order of Saint Augustine to ascend to the papacy. Since Pope Eugene IV in the 15th century, he served as the prior general of the Augustinians from 2001 to 2013, demonstrating his long-standing commitment to the order. Augustinian. Now, St. Augustine is from Algeria, and he's multilingual and academically accomplished, fluent in English, Spanish, Italian, French, and Portuguese, and proficient in Latin and German. He has a Bachelor of Science in Mathematics, okay, and a canon law from Catholic Theological Union and Pontifical University of St. Thomas Aquinas. Okay. His missionary journey began in Peru in 1985, where he served as parish pastor, seminary teacher. He was appointed Bishop of Chiclayo in 2015, a position he held until 2023. Pope Leo has been recognized for compassionate work for marginalized communities, including Venezuelan Tren de Agua migrants. I'm just kidding. Venezuelan migrants in Peru. He has publicly criticized policies he perceives as unjust towards immigrants and refugees. As cardinals, he has consistently spoken out against policies he views as harmful to families and marginalized communities. He publicly condemned such practices as family separation at the U.S. border and deportation of vulnerable individuals, sharing critical commentary on Twitter. His digital presence reflected a deep commitment to empathy and inherent dignity of all people, particularly immigrants and refugees. He reshared posts denouncing the Trump administration's immigration policies and highlighted their moral shortcomings in light of Christian values. In one instance, he also questioned J.D. Vance's public remarks about prioritizing love, underscoring his belief in universal compassion. Prevost's views echo a broader vision of the Catholic Church, rooted in social justice, inclusion, protection of the vulnerable, continuing the legacy of Pope Francis. A close ally of Pope Francis, appointed by Pope Francis as prefect, for all that, He is seen as a continuation of Francis's emphasis on social justice and DEI inclusion. Oh, sex scandal handling. While Cardinal, he faced scrutiny over 2 cases involving clergy sexual abuse. His supporters and church authorities affirmed that he acted appropriately and within canonical norms. The first dates back to his time as Augustinian province in Chicago, involving a priest previously convicted of abuse. While the priest briefly resided near a school, reports indicate that Prevost neither authorized the arrangement nor had oversight, as the individual was not Augustinian. The situation occurred before the implementation of the U.S. Bishops' Dallas Charter. The second case arose in Peru during Prevost's tenure as Bishop of Chiclayo, where 2 priests were accused of abusing 3 girls. Some critics alleged mishandling. Okay, not good. Symbolic papal name. Choosing the name Leo, he pays homage to Pope Leo XIII, known for his advocacy for workers' rights and social justice, signaling a similar focus in his papacy. In his first public address, he greeted the world with "Peace be with you," emphasizing a message of peace and dialogue without fear. Okay, elected May 8th, that's today, second day of the papal conclave. His election was announced by Cardinal Dominique Mamberti. Okay. Pope Leo XIV's election represents a significant movement in the history of the Catholic Church, reflecting a blend of tradition and progressive values, a deep connection to both North and South America. Lord help us if this guy's going to be another Francis. I get the feeling, hello, Brother Mahi Maxif. I hope he's going to be a Christian, I hope he's going to uphold the Bible, and hello, are you a Christian, Mahi Maxif? We welcome you if you are, and hope that you will, if you're not, we hope you will become a Christian. And yes, of course, the Lord raises up, and the Lord, there's no power but of God. The powers that be are ordained of God. Even Obama, when he was in office, was God's choice, because there's no power but of God, and the powers that be are ordained of God. And so I'm kind of curious to see what this guy's attitude towards Islam is. I don't know. I was looking for stuff and I haven't found anything yet. There's a real connection between popes and Islam. There's let me see if I could show you the there was a video of the Pope. Let's see. Let's see what the Pope says here about it. Okay, I'm just wanting to see some videos about Pope Francis. In regard to Islam.
Office in October, as he has exhausted the number of consecutive terms. During his speech, the president lamented the conflicts around the world and made Pope Francis was welcomed by Indonesia's president
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen in the United States big protests on college campuses and growing anti-Semitism. What would you say about how to change that?
Toda ideología es mala.
All ideology is
Y
bad.
el
And
antisemitismo
anti-Semitism is an ideology, and it is bad. Any anti is always bad. You can criticize one government or another, the government of Israel, the Palestinian government. You can criticize all you want, but not anti a people. Neither anti-Palestinian nor anti-Semitic. No.
I know you call for peace. You have called for a ceasefire in many of your sermons. Can you help negotiate peace?
What I can do is pray. I pray a lot for peace. And also to suggest, please stop, negotiate.
I don't know if you've seen in the United States big protests on college campuses and growing anti.
Let me see. Let's see. Let's see this.
Quindi Santo Padre, ho due domande brevi. Perché lei quando parla di questi atti violenti parla sempre di terroristi, ma mai di Islam.
Terrorists, but never Islam. You never use the word Islam.
La parola Islam. E poi, oltre alle
And
preghiere
then, aside from prayer and
e al
dialogue,
dialogo, che ovviamente sono
which are obviously essential,
essenzialissimi, quale
what concrete initiatives can you advise or suggest
iniziativa concreta lei può avviare o magari suggerire per contrastare
in order to counteract Islamic violence?
la violenza islamica? Grazie, sentita. A me non piace
I don't like to speak of Islamic violence
parlare di violenza islamica, perché
because every day
tutti i giorni hanno
when I browse the
i
newspaper,
giornali vedo violenza
I see violence here in Italy.
qui in Italia. Questo
This one who has murdered his girlfriend, another was murdered his mother-in-law.
E questi sono
These are baptized Catholics.
sono violenti
There are violent Catholics.
cattolici. Se io
If I speak of Islamic violence,
parlo di violenza islamica, devo parlare di
I
violenza
must speak of
cattolica.
Catholic violence.
No, no.
And no, not all Muslims are violent. Not all Catholics are violent. It is like a fruit salad. There's everything. There are violent persons in this religion. It is true. I believe that in pretty much every religion, there is always a small group of fundamentalists.
Piccolo gruppetto fondamentalista.
Fundamentalists.
Noi ne abbiamo.
We have them.
Quando il fondamentalismo
Fundamentalists come to
arriva a
kill.
uccidere, ma si può uccidere con la
I can
lingua.
kill with the language.
Questo lo
You
dice
can
la
kill with the
fondamentalismo.
language. The Apostle James says, this, not me,
E anche col coltello. No?
and even with a knife. No,
E credo che non è giusto
I do not believe it is right to identify Islam with violence.
con la violenza. Questo non è
This is
giusto
not right or
e
true.
non è vero. Ho avuto un
I had a long conversation with the Imam,
col imam,
the Grand Imam of Al Azhar University, the Peace Center
e
of
so
Language,
come
and I know how they think. Yeah, I do too. They
pensano.
seek peace encounters. Mhm. The nuncio to an African country told me
Mi diceva che nella capitale dove
that
lui
the
è
capital where he is,
c'è
there
una
is
coda
a
di
trail of
gente
people always full
sempre meno alla porta santa per
at the Jubilee Holy Hill.
e alcuni si accostano
And
ai
some approach
confessionali,
the confessional
cattolici, altri
Catholics,
pregano.
others
Ma
to
la
the benches
maggioranza va
to pray,
avanti, avanti
but the majority go
a pregare
forward to
all'altare
pray
della Madonna.
at the
Questi
altar
sono
of Our Lady.
musulmani
These are Muslims who want to make the
che
Jubilee.
vogliono fare il giubileo.
They are our brothers. They lived when I was in Central Africa. I went to them and listened to Imam, came up on the Topmobile. We can coexist well, but there are fundamentalist groups, and even, I ask, there is a question. How many young people of our Europe whom we have left empty of ideals, who do not have work, they take drugs, alcohol, and go there to enlist in fundamentalist groups. One can say that so-called ISIS, but it is an Islamic State which presents itself as violent. Because when they show us their identity cards, they show us how on the Libyan coast, how they slit the Egyptians' throats or other things. But this is a fundamentalist group which is called ISIS. But you cannot say, I do not believe that it is true or right that Islam is terrorist. Is Izord your concrete initiative to counteract terrorism violence? Terrorism is everywhere. You think of the tribal terrorism in some African countries. Terrorism and also, it is terrorism and also. But I don't know, I say, because it's a little dangerous. Terrorism grows when there is no other option. And when the center of the global economy is the god of money. And not the person, mentally. This is already the first terrorism. You have cast out the wonder of creation, man and woman. You have put money in its place. This is basic terrorism against all of humanity. Think about it. What the heck was that? I'm not sure I understood anything he said there. Where's here, let me see this one. Sorry, guys.
As part of his trip to Sri Lanka, the Pope met with leaders recognized the Pope with this song, condemned the recent attacks Islamic terrorists carried out in Paris and Pakistan.
Islam has no relationship
Islam has no relation with regard to such practices and evil conduct.
with regard to such practices and evil conduct and deeds.
Right.
In his speech, the Pope explained that interfaith dialogue is a tool that fosters respect. A dialogue is sincere, he said, when no one masks or denies their beliefs.
If we are honest in presenting our convictions, we will be able to see more clearly that what we hold in common. New avenues will be open for mutual esteem, cooperation, and indeed friendship.
He also called for all ethnicities and religions to work together in rebuilding Sri Lanka.
It is my hope that interreligious and ecumenical cooperation will demonstrate that men and women do not have to forsake their identity, whether ethnic or religious, in order to live in harmony with their brothers or sisters.
The country suffered a civil war that lasted over 25 years.
Okay. Yeah, it's not. Anyway, I was just kind of seeing the Islamic, you know, um, he looks like the one before, a spitting image of him. I don't, you know, the one that I was kind of interested in. This is when I was in Gaza. There was one pope who said something. There was one pope who okay, this is very controversial. I was in Gaza when Pope Benedict, who was conservative, hey Shafiq, if you're a Muslim, you're welcome to come on. I got, I think we may have some Muslims here. If we do, if you are a Muslim, please feel free to come on. I'd love to talk to you. Um, Shafiq, if you are a Muslim, Shad Khan, here's the link if you'd like to come on. And we also had another Muslim who was here, Alush Ali. Um, okay, has the Pope ever read the Quran, this biography, Hadith, Action of Muhammad? Has he ever read the Sharia manual called, and he would have all the proof Islam never means peace? True story. You know, yeah. Um, I think there were some Muslims, a couple of Muslims who came on today. If you guys want to come on, here's the link, and you're welcome to come on. Love to talk to you. And but I was also interested in because I was in Gaza. I lived in Gaza when Pope Benedict said something about Islam, and whatever he said, it caused like riots all over the world. And I was working at the Bible Society in Gaza when he said what he said. And one thing that happens over there in Gaza, quite a few times I saw it, is that when there's some kind of international controversy involving Christianity and Islam, they will attack, you know, Christian symbols and stuff. And the Bible Society was a known Christian organization in Gaza City. It no longer exists there, but it did at the time. And when it was there, uh, this was about 2003 or around then, that and Pope Benedict said something, and I didn't even know what he said, but uh, it caused there were riots all over the world because of what he said about Islam, and um, and there was a small explosive that was thrown at the Bible Society. It didn't did it? I don't think it like blew up the whole place. There was another time where they did blow up the whole place. Um, there was another time when they did blow up. There was a major bombing at the Bible Society, but this one was a small bombing. It kind of like just broke the door and stuff of the Bible Society, and it was because of what Pope Benedict said. So I wanted to look at just to show that there's always this tension between popes and Islam. Um, Here it says, Um, let's see. He was actually okay. Okay, it was in September 2006, after the 5th anniversary of September 11th attacks in the United States. Pope Benedict had given a lecture at the University of Regensburg, Germany, on the relationship between faith and reason. To introduce his topic, he recounted a dialogue between 14th century Christian emperor Manuel Pelagius and a Muslim scholar. He quoted the emperor who said, now this is what the emperor said. He said, okay, show me just what Muhammad brought that was new, and there you will find things only evil and inhuman, such as his command to spread by the sword the faith he preached. Okay, now it wasn't Pope Benedict who was saying this, he was quoting the emperor, Manuel Pelagius. Let me just say one more time what he said. Show me just what Muhammad brought that was new, and there you will find things only evil and inhuman, such as his command to spread by the sword the faith he preached. Okay, both Christians and Muslims globally were disappointed by the remark. These statements will serve to destroy in 20 seconds the careful construction of a relationship with Islam that Pope John Paul built over 20 years. The result was, in response, 30 Muslim leaders from around the world sent an open letter seeking him that he correct his portrayal of their faith. A year later, more than 100 Muslim scholars issued the document A Common Word, in which they affirmed core Islamic values of love of God, love of neighbor, and articulated the need for Christians and Muslims to establish positive relationships. Right. So, okay, but the result was there was lots of lots of rioting. Now there was a guy, Samir Khalil Samir, a core advisor, who praised Benedict's approach and claimed to have the same line of thinking. Now he's in Egypt, so he knows. Samir has written and spoken of Islam in reductive terms, obscuring the diversity of tradition, arguing that the violence of militant groups is an authentic application of Islam. In this way, Samir's worldview shares much in common with the American writer Robert Spencer. Okay. A former Catholic well known and widely criticized for mainstreaming Islamophobia in the United States. So yeah, popes are very, very involved with dealing with Islam, and so I'm curious to see I'm curious to see how this new pope is, what his view of Islam. Now we know what he thinks. They're just not, I'm not seeing a lot about his views about Islam yet. There's stuff about his LGBT type stuff, his views on immigration and stuff like that. But I don't see any comments on Islam yet. But I bet there is some Muslim comments about let's see, there's this article. Will the next pope be another pope of Islam? Another pope of Islam. And this is, by the way, by Robert Spencer. Will the next pope continue the last pope's consistent record of appeasing Islam? The late Pope Francis had a long record of whitewashing Islamic jihad violence and making moral equivalence arguments to downplay jihadi terror. Back in 2017, Ahmed Tayyib, the Grand Imam of Cairo's Al-Azhar, noticed the Pope's yeoman service for the Islamic cause and thanked him for his defense of Islam against the accusation of violence and terrorism. Francis was not just a defender of Islam, but a defender of the Sharia death penalty for blasphemy. After Islamic jihadists in January 2015 murdered the Charlie Hebdo cartoonist who had drawn Muhammad, Francis justified the murders, saying, "It is true that you must not react violently, but although we are good friends, if an aide says a curse word against my mother, he can expect a punch. It's normal. You can't make a toy out of the religions of others. Those people provoke them, and then something can happen. In freedom of expression, there are limits." Pope Francis apparently believed that murdering people for violating Sharia blasphemy laws is normal and wasn't terrorism. Christian terrorism does not exist. Jewish terrorism does not exist, and Muslim terrorism does not exist. They do not exist, he said in 2017. There are fundamentalist and violent individuals. Okay. Let's see if he says anything about the new Pope. Okay, it seems like most of what Robert Spencer has said here is about the former Pope. Okay, but not specifically about the new Pope. Let's see. German Cardinal hopes new Pope will backtrack on Islam LGBT. German Cardinal Gerhard Miller, one of late Pope Francis's fiercest critics, on Thursday said he hopes the new Pope will reverse course on some of the more progressive issues, including dialogue with Muslims. Miller told Italian Daily that he thought it was possible to enter into dialogue with Muslims on the level of reason. They respect certain principles on natural ethics and believe in God in their own way, he said. But we have to ask ourselves how it's possible for someone who believes in God, the creator of humankind, to kill in the name of that God. Mueller added, apparently referring to Islamic terrorism. The cardinal went on to say that while he was generally in favor of dialogue, any form of relativism has to be avoided. Okay, Mueller is among the conservative clergy who have been warning for years that showing too much tolerance towards other religions could water down the Catholic faith. Okay, so he said, this doesn't really tell us, doesn't really tell us what to expect from the new pope. Just that this guy hopes that he won't be like the old one. Let's see what the Arab news says. New Arab. Who is the most likely and what could it mean for Muslims? As the world says goodbye to Pope Francis on Saturday, attention turns not only to the future direction of the Catholic Church, but also global relations it nurtured in the past decade with the Muslim world. On one side are the progressives and moderates who emphasize interfaith dialogue, engagement with Islam as a vital path towards peace in a fractured world. On the other are conservatives and traditionalists, many of whom fear the erosion of Christian identity in an increasingly secular Europe, which has large migrant communities. Europe has seen a rise of far-right, openly anti-Islamic movements across the continent. As the world awaits the white smoke from Gaza to Cairo to are watching closely. Okay, that didn't really say much, but I know that I had another story about in Gaza related to popes, because when we were in Gaza, when Pope John Paul II died, and when Pope John Paul died, it was like the next day. He died on a Saturday, I think, and the next day was the church service, and I was the worship leader, and I was leading worship in the church. It was a small church. We had about 50 people or so, and I was leading the worship. And then as I led worship, a bunch of young men, Muslim men, came into the church, and they sat in the back rows of the church. And I didn't know what was going on, but I just kept leading, kept doing the worship service. And then the pastor went up, and the pastor preached, and we didn't know why all these Muslim men had come into the church. But after the service, we found out that they had come to offer their condolences because Pope John Paul had died. And so anyway, those are my two Pope-related memories in the Gaza Strip. So I'm not sure if this new Pope is going to, it seems like he's got a lot of the same characteristics as the Pope Francis, which isn't very promising. Okay, but let's see what President Donald Trump reacted Thursday to the Vatican announce the selection of a new pope. Okay, let's see what Donald Trump said. Okay, I saw the smoke, but this is what President Trump said. I saw the smoke, but I haven't seen the Pope. I saw the smoke, but I haven't seen the Pope, Trump said on his way out of the event with military mothers. Trump reacted to Leo's selection, writing on Truth Social. Congratulations to Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost, who was just named Pope. It's such an honor to realize he is the first American Pope. What excitement and what a great honor for our country. I look forward to meeting Pope Leo. It will be a very meaningful moment. Okay. Uh, Trump previously said he had no preference about who the new pope would be, and stirred backlash with some Catholics after posting an AI-generated image of himself as the pope. Um, I'm still kind of curious about Muslim reactions to the new pope. There was a Muslim's reflection, of course. As a Muslim who admired Pope Francis, I joined millions in mourning the towering moral voice. He was the first pontiff I've ever quoted extensively in my speeches and writings, and for good reason. In an era of politics and ambiguity, Francis dared to speak clearly. Now, as the cardinals prepare, he called for a ceasefire in Gaza, consistently denounced the killing of civilians, stating the bombing of children was cruelty, not war. He even acknowledged that experts had described the assault on Gaza as bearing the characteristics of a genocide, and stood firm with the Vatican's position of calling for a rigorous international investigation. Even while hospitalized, Pope Francis made many daily calls to the only Catholic church in Gaza, checking in on the displaced civilians, urging them not to lose hope. Some began calling him the Saint of Gaza. For Palestinians and for many Muslims around the world, this Pope was not just a spiritual ally, he felt like family. Asking that it be converted into a mobile clinic. The earliest Muslims faced persecution in Mecca. Prophet Muhammad advised his group of followers to seek refuge in Abyssinia, Ethiopia. There, the Christian king known as Negus listened to their testimony and heard a recitation from chapter 19 of the Quran, titled Mary. He recognized the kinship between Muslim beliefs and the teachings of Jesus, including the reverence shown both to Jesus and Mary in the Quran, and offered them asylum. The Muslim delegation, arriving with gifts and pressure, was turned away by the king, who refused to extradite the Muslims, declaring that justice of conscience demanded otherwise. To be sure, the historical relationship between Catholics and Muslims has not always been marked by mutual respect. From the brutal campaigns of the Crusades to the horrors of the Spanish Inquisition, there have been chapters of religious violence, and it's always the Christians who do the violence, according to this guy, that still cast long shadows. But history is not monolithic. Alongside the conflict lies a rich tapestry of cooperation and learning. Right. You don't take any responsibility for any of the violence over these last 2,000 years, I see. Pope Francis was not interested in symbolic interfaith diplomacy. He was interested in building real bridges. The joy of the gospel, he affirmed that Muslims adore the one merciful God. He affirmed that Muslims adore the one merciful God and acknowledged the shared reverence for Jesus and Mary. He declared that God had created all human beings equal in rights, duties, and dignity, even though that's not what Islam teaches. He revitalized Muslim-Christian dialogue by supporting efforts like the common word between us and you. Okay. Yeah, so I don't know. The next pope cannot merely preserve theological doctrine. He must preserve moral imagination that Francis so vividly embodied. He must continue the work of reminding us that leadership is not about grandeur, but about grace. In Muslim tradition, what endures beyond this life is not status or power, but lots of women. but one's moral courage and compassion. Pope Francis leaves behind a legacy, not of Al-Qantaya. As Muslims, we honor that legacy. As members of the wounded world in search of moral clarity, we hope that Francis' successor will not only wear the white robes of the papacy, but also carry the weight of the moral responsibility. Faisal Kuti, right? The only violence in the 2,000-year history is the Crusades and the Spanish Inquisition. Islam didn't do nothing. You guys are completely innocent. So, yeah, so that's what they're saying. And, I'm wondering, you know what? I want to see on X. Let's see, Muslims. Let's see if there is anything. Muslim responses to new Pope. For new Pope. May Allah bless the Catholic community. Look, Aruzo. Oh God, do not replace us with another person to serve and help Imam Mahdi, because this conversion is easy for you, but it'll be very difficult for us to bear. Imam Reza. I don't get, do not replace us with another person to serve and help Imam Mahdi. This conversion is easy for you, but it'll be very difficult for us to bear it. The new Pope is Palestinian. Oh. New Pope is Palestinian. Catholics around the world rejoice as Muslim adjacent pontiff takes office. Catholics are ready for change. This is a rabbi. She says the new Pope is Palestinian. Jeffrey Mukarzel Aramuni. A historical moment. A new Pope is chosen, not just for Catholics or Christians, from the Vatican to every corner of the world. The Pope's influence is faith felt beyond religion. Okay. El-Faiz. Okay, Nigeria. My Catholic brothers, you have nothing to celebrate. The new Pope is a complete liberal. He's not even popular in church. Congratulations, my brothers. You got yourself a leftist Pope. Christianity now have a new Pope. Rejoice, Catholic, Protestant, Pentecostals, New Gen churches, Muslims, Hindus, and all other documented and undocumented religions. The new Pope has championed migrants and the poor. Somehow this is upsetting Christians. Sultan Ahmed. Warm congratulations to our Christian friends on the election of new Pope, wishing him wisdom, strength, guidance to lead the Catholic Church to bring peace through justice. Osama. Disappointed. I consider it to be a bad choice in a crucial time. We needed a Pope with Catholic values and principles. This is a guy named Osama. Okay. A new Pope, His Holiness Man from Khant, Punjab, addressing the masses. Okay. Muhammad Amir Sabir. Congratulations to all our Catholic brothers and sisters. A new Pope has been elected. Blessings and presence. Okay, I don't know if Islam allows you to call Christians brothers. Love from the Muslim and Christian brothers from other sects. I have nothing to do with Catholicism as a Muslim, but this new Pope actually had me falling down to my knees. Uh-oh. Don't know what that means. I wish you could read the Arabic comments from Muslims about the death of Pope Francis. The man was practically a supporter of Hamas, yet hundreds of thousands of Muslims are saying, to hell, and wretched is the final end. a Quranic phrase describing the fate of non-Muslims. Appeasement doesn't work. Your appeasement won't change what the Quran teaches. True story. Oops, am I showing you guys this? Sorry guys, I should be showing you this. Okay. The election of a new pope is not a win for LGBT and victims of South Africa, since brother didn't handle that well. However, he is against the death penalty. Okay. Retired army officer. Pope Francis embraced Islam. The new pope was Francis's choice. Oh no. He is anti-Trump, anti-Vance, pro-illegal alien, anti-deportation, woke, social activist. Definitely not the leader of the Christians. And I'm wondering, is he even a Christian? Okay. Welcome, Holy Pope. With your arrival, we look forward to a new era where kindness and compassion is Shahid Poez. The new Pope, okay. All right, let's see. Hearty congratulations to all Christian brothers and sisters for new Pope. Akil Ashfaq, I assume that you're Muslim. I hope that you will hear the gospel and come to the Lord Jesus. Congratulations to Pope, Catholic community. Hope his role in ending the genocide in Gaza and bring faiths together for a more peaceful, equitable world. There's no place in our beautiful world for hate. I bet you don't live in the Middle East. Okay. Aki Mufti. If I was a Mufti, what a Mufti I would be. What a Mufti I would be. I would get rid of chapter 4. Take it, chop it up, burn it out the door. Okay. Congratulations to the Catholic community on the election of a new Pope. My sincere prayers for Pope Leo to continue the legacy of Pope Francis and interfaith harmony. May his leadership strengthen our values of compassion, justice across faith. Wham! English. Muhammad bin Zayed. No way. Okay, I extend my sincere best wishes to His Holiness, his appointment as head of the Catholic Church, and wish him success to promote mutual understanding, peace, and harmony. Okay. May his burden be light, the hope he brings real and bright, and may God's love through him reach the ends of the earth, drawing people back to God through Jesus Christ our Lord. Okay, this sounds like a Christian here. Amen. J.J. Truth, the Pope has embraced Chrislam. I think so. True Christians and Muslims can agree to disagree, but to pretend we worship the same God is a lie. Muslims view Jesus as a prophet. Christians view Jesus as the Son of the living God and Savior, God in flesh. They can't be merged. Yep, J.J. Truth is right. So, Jolina Jasmine, the new Pope shared posts calling for gun reform, criticized Trump for fueling racism, voiced support for immigrants. I'm not sure what his stance is on LGBTQIA and community, but it's looking hopeful. Okay. The new Pope declares there is only one Allah. Pascal Molyneux, even though I'm not Catholic, I'm overjoyed. The new Pope is a man of God, servant of the downtrodden and marginal, outspoken man of faith. It reminds me a little bit about what Aisha says about Muhammad Hijab, or what she used to say about him. Lovable liberal and his old English sheepdog. Breaking, we have an American Pope. Born in 1955. How do you feel about this election? Neutral observer. Watch the kuffar and munafiqeen smile. Celebrate when the Christian world elects a leader. However, as soon as we Muslims mention the caliph to rule the Muslim world, they will condemn and ridicule us as fundamentalist extremists. We demand a caliph. Well, you may have one. We demand a caliph. You may have one. I'm not sure. You may have one here. I don't know about this guy yet. Okay. Who's that? Neutral observer. Okay. Yara. New Pope seems to be pro-refugees, pro-Ukraine so far. Still anxious on his views on Gaza. Hopefully he continues what Pope Francis did with with Gaza Catholic Church and protects Christians in Palestine, taking further steps than Francis did with the clergy sex abuse. Okay. I'm really interested more in the Muslims' comments. Harris Zafar, sending best wishes on the election of the new Muslim Pope. As an Ahmadi Muslim, I uniquely understand the significance of centralized spiritual leadership. I pray the appointment of new Pope serves as a source of blessing. Razwan Adatia, that is, Radwan is an Arabic name. He may be Muslim. He who believes in strength, moral leadership, I welcome the new Pope with prayers for unity, peace, and justice. Okay. Kevin, due to the last-minute dump of ballots, Muhammad actually is the new Pope. Congratulations, Muhammad. Allahu Akbar. Kevin, I don't know if this guy is with the the other Pope. You know, the other Pope that we talked about. This Pope. Yes, there's. This guy claimed that he's the Pope. So I don't know if the some of the followers of this guy, Darth Beanie, there were a bunch of his followers who have been commenting on my video on Father Zechariah's channel. Okay. Congratulations to His Holiness. May your pontificate, wisdom, compassion, the Holy Spirit leading the church with grace and unity. Greet the faithful for the first time as the 267th Pope. The Lord Tariq Ahmed of Wimbledon, from the United Kingdom of Islam. The election of Pope Leo is a moment of great joy for all Catholics around the world. His first words, peace be with you, resonate with people of all faiths. And as a Muslim, I also extend with prayers a heartfelt salam alaikum. At a time of conflict and great human suffering caused mostly by Islam, the world may become a beacon of hope for peace and humanity, building bridges of understanding between people. Okay. Zeal Sony, the newly elected Pope Leo is liberal, woke, and also open to immigrants. How many months to go before we hear Azan in the Vatican City? It's going to be, you know what? This will be the first Pope who will stuff dates for Ramadan. And he'll be stuffing dates with the King of England and his wife. Due to last-minute dump of ballots, Muhammad is actually the winner of the new Pope. Aliya Amut told me that a new Pope doesn't exactly support Zionists and stands with Palestine. Zamzam News. Terrorist group aim to create divisions between global community among different religions and faiths. I congratulate the new Pope, ask him to work to fostering an atmosphere of peace and love between the world's religions. I hope that he will not spare any effort to promote harmony and compassion between different religions. You know, nice sounding people, but I'm not sure I believe a lot of this. Upon the election of the new Bishop of Rome, the Muslim World League looks forward to Pope's contribution to building bridges of understanding and cooperation, strengthening peace efforts around the world. The Muslim World League. I wonder what that is. Muslim World League, global independent organization in Mecca with members from all Islamic countries. Muslim World League has honor caring for mosques around the world and building mosques around the world and not allowing the construction of churches in Muslim countries. Yeah, so that's Islam for you. Dominic, signs indicate the new pope is likely on the side of globalist Islamists. Illegal invasion, infiltration, mainly Muslim men to the West. Anti-Christian, ignoring all issues of concern. Let's wait to hear his first words on his first words. When I heard his first words, I'll be honest. When I heard his first words were "Peace be to you," which I thought, you know what? He's saying that to the Muslims because it's very close to "Salam alaikum." It's very close to "Salam alaikum." And I was thinking he was trying to make inroads to Islam. So I don't know. I'm not sure. But if we have any Muslims here who would like to come on, let me just put a link. If you're Muslim, you're welcome to come on. How could these Pope get holy crosses? Jesus, as by himself, never created any cross room, but it was built by the Romans. So why the Pope? Well, the cross is a symbol. You know, it's not. It's not like we worship the cross. The cross. We don't worship the cross. We worship the one who was on the cross. You know, it's not like the way Muslims worship the black stone and bow down to it and kiss it. Okay, this is very interesting. Okay, another decade. Okay, Canadian man. Okay, well, the new Pope hates Westerners and Christianity. Another decade of support for Islamization. The Lakes will have to take matters into their own hands. LAICS, I'm not sure what that means. Rome politicians are not legitimate. Hamzi, Muslims are not allowed to put their mouth nor wish them or mourn them on the election of a new pope. Are not allowed to put their mouth nor wish them or mourn them on the election of a new pope. Hamzi, you're right. You're right. Muhammad said, do not take friends of the Jews and Christians. Now I know Muslims don't obey this, and they're more secular. Sometimes they're more secular than the regular secular folks. Let's see. Do not take Jews and Christians as friends. Okay. It says here, let's see the verses. Now I know Muslims are better than Islam. O believers, take neither Jews nor Christians as guardians. The word is awliya, which it's not necessarily guardians, but they are guardians of each other. Whoever does so will be counted as one of them. It doesn't say that in the Quran. It says they are one of them. Surely Allah does not guide the wrongdoing people. He misguides them. So do not ally yourself with the people Allah is displeased with. they already have no hope for the hereafter. The Christians have nothing to stand on, and the Christians say the Jews have nothing to stand on, although they both recite scriptures. And those pagans have no knowledge. Okay, yeah, contradictions of the Quran of Islam. But it says that they have nothing to stand on if they don't stand on the scriptures that Allah sent down, which are the Bible. So, this Hamzi guy, he's the first one that is really honest. He said the truth. He says, that Muslims are not allowed to congratulate the Christians on the Pope. Muslims are not allowed to put their mouth nor wish them or mourn them on the election of a new Pope. That's correct. Okay. Sir, we give thanks for the wisdom. May the new Pope be blessed with strength and humility. We hope. Okay, Vifa breaking. The new Pope is Islamophobic. Pope Leo. Okay. So here somebody is saying that the Pope is Islamophobic. Here's a new one, the Muslim Pope. Acclaimed drama slammed by some detractors as woke explores the place of Catholic Church teachings in the modern world. When reactionary Orthodox cardinals complain, the next Pope is an open Muslim. Ralph Fiennes, Cardinal mounts a defense of tolerance. Who's this? New Muslim Pope. Okay. The peace and hope of Catholicism is not your address, as Germans like me abroad, the way we conquer the world, and we summarize the deal. Now Pope Leo's groundbreaking news for the administration. A dodge will continue with this shameful category of the light between you, whatever that means. Emmanuel Macron, yo boy, is he an atheist? A historic moment for the Catholic Church and its millions of faithful. To Pope Leo and all Catholics in France around the world, I extend my message of fraternity. Emmanuel Macron, that's the president of France. Okay, Varis Holo Ice. Not only did the new Pope get involved in child abuse stuff, hiding known child abuser in his residence, he also trash talks the U.S. government and spouts Islam is enriching us and needs to be welcomed by Christians. Virus. Okay. J.D. Vance is wrong. Jesus doesn't ask us to rank our love for others. Okay. Muslims these days have an idea of the Pope as some jolly old auntie's husband. Abdul Aziz, jolly old auntie's husband. He is the chief Trinitarian and mushrik. Over 1 billion mushriks. He upholds an institution of shirk and blasphemy. He is not our ally or friend. Abdul Aziz, okay? This guy's not sucking up to the leftist secular, he's saying it the way the Quran says it. Okay? He is not our friend or ally. He's the chief Trinitarian and mushrik of over 1 billion mushriks. Wow. Well, that's really how they feel, that really, because they consider Christianity, mushrik, what's the word? Idolaters, who worship more than one God. So, new Pope is Islamophobic. Vifa says new Pope is Islamophobic. Is there any proof of that? The new Pope should stand with Palestine and Pakistan. Congratulations. Mu'min Mukhtar. Palestine and Pakistan. When I was a kid, I used to always get confused between Palestine and Pakistan. They sounded the same to me. Muhammad Abdullahi. Congratulations to Catholics around the world on election of new Pope. May his reign usher peace to the world. He might bring in peace. Yes. Watch, post, look out. Self-proclaimed Muslim Messiah emerges with intentions to replace Pope Francis. This is the guy, what's his name? Israel 365. This guy's really been amazing how it's even on Israel News. It's Israel 365 News. Wow. Possibly upsetting to some, but what are you going to do? Go all Islam on him? The church has been making a mockery of itself for years, so what would you expect? Strangely, new Pope is American. I'm not sure what that means, but Beam, my first thing my mom told me this morning, we got a new Pope. Mind you, that was right after Fajr. We are Muslims. We got a new Pope. Well, actually, you do got a new Pope, so you may. Pope Francis was a Pope, was a Muslim Pope. So, as if their day couldn't get any worse. Turns out the new Pope is far right and hates Palestine. The world is waking up. I don't think so. I don't think he's far right. Yeah. We want him as next Pope without any ifs or buts. This is Radio Genoa. Athanasius Schneider speaks clearly. They are not refugees. They are invaders who want to Islamicize Europe. They want to destroy historical culture in Europe. Who is this guy?
Ultimately in Europe, with the help of the Islamic. Yes, this is very serious. Now we are witnessing an invasion. They are not refugees. No, this is an invasion of mass Islamization of Europe, which already went on for at minimum 50, 60 years, Islamization in Europe. But now it is in mass. It is very evident. And so this is a global political agenda by the powerful of the world to destroy Europe culturally and religiously. I mean, to destroy Christianity ultimately in Europe, with the help of the massive Islamic population. And I was reading recently an article of a sociologist who made a calculation that maybe in 30 or 40 years, when it's now going on, so the majority of the population of Europe will be Islamic. Europe will be Islamic when this will go on, because the European people have almost no children, 1 or 2. The Muslims there, they have 5, 6 to 10 children. And so it is, you can only make mathematics, and then you can see that they will be in the majority. And so maybe it is a permission of God that then the church, being surrounded by an Islamic society, which is not tolerant and which will not be tolerant, and then the Christianity in the church will be maybe purified with this, and the purification is good also.
Wow. Dang. Wow. I've never heard anybody say it like that. Dang. He's saying it might be with God's permission. It could, which I have heard, that it is the judgment of God on Europe for their secularization and for leaving God. And that God would allow the Muslims to come surround them with their intolerance and their da'wah and their Muhammad hijabs and forced marriages, and that it could be the judgment of God to wake up the church, because churches are strong in Muslim countries because of the persecution from Islam. Churches become strong in their faith. Sometimes they get persecuted, sometimes they're killed, sometimes they're hurt, but the churches become strong. Persecution makes churches strong. And so this guy is saying it could be by God's permission to wake the church up, to purify the church. Wow. That's really, and this guy's a Catholic? Wow. Seems like he has some wisdom there. The new Pope supports mass Islamic migration. Not good. Nick. Hashem. Hashem Almighty. I wonder if that's that guy who claims to be the Mahdi. His name is Hashem. I wonder if this is him. Vatican News. We know Mufa Qatar pulled all stops to try to influence deliberations. Please choose wisely. We cannot have a pope who allows Islamism to continue metastasizing at such horrific rates. Christians can't afford it. Neither can humanity. Hashem, we need a pope who actually takes issues with this, who isn't scared to step up to Islamism. This is absolutely outrageous. In Lebanon, this is showing the decline of Christianity in the Middle East. In Lebanon, Christianity went from 53% to 32%. In Syria, 14% to 1%. Wow. Jordan, 20% to 2%. Iraq, 12% to 0.2%. Wow. 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 I'm curious. Is Christian population in Israel year by year? Christians in Israel are increasing compared with in Muslim countries. You know, Christianity in Israel is increasing, whereas in Muslim countries, it's going down. So a lot of the scoop. Anwar congratulates the Catholics on Pope Leo's affirms ties with Holy See. Anwar Ibrahim says he looks forward to continued engagement rooted in mutual respect, commitment to peace. Now, I do believe that these Muslims want peace, the ones who are saying this, but unfortunately, they're not the majority. As a Muslim, happy for you if this Pope you wanted. Sad and empathetic if it isn't. Maria. I hope you'll come to Christ, Maria. Jean C. The new Pope appears to be a genuine Christian. Apparently, they can't stand that. Mansour Sadiq. The new Pope, this is what I told you guys. His first words were, peace be with you all, meaning salam alaikum in Arabic. It portrays similarity with all Abrahamic religions. Jews have their own as well. Why can't we live in peace and allow our grandfather Abraham to rest in peace? Because of what Muhammad said in the Quran about chapter 9:29, chapter 9:5, chapter 839, Muhammad's hadith, Umirtu Qatilum, Natan Network. The first words of Pope Leo to the world. Peace be with you all. Dear brothers and sisters, this is the first greeting of the risen Christ, the Good Shepherd, who gave his life for the flock of God. I too would like this greeting of peace to enter your hearts. Of course, Jesus said, Salam alaikum. See, there's a difference between what the Muslims say and what the Christians say in Arabic. In the Arabic, the Muslims say Salam alaikum, ala. Like, when it says Allah praise on Muhammad, it's the same word, ala. When the Muslims say peace, they say Salam alaikum, peace upon you. But when Christians say, Christian Arabs, they say Salam lekum, peace to you, rather than on you. Okay, that which is what Jesus said when he rose from the dead. He said, Salam lekum. Okay, this is very long, so I'm not going to read it all. Abdullah Damaliki, Salam alaikum. Okay. Delaney, we will recover our mandate. Cardinal Francis, our hope. After the death of Pope Francis, Cardinal Arinze, the oldest Vatican city, and a hopeful candidate to be the next pope. Okay. They wanted him to be like the first black pope. Instead, we got the first American pope. Better. Peace be with you is a Muslim greeting, generally known as Salam alaikum, Sadauki. Sadauki, it was a Christian greeting first. It was Christian first. Jesus said it 600 years before Islam. Okay. After he rose from the dead. After he rose from the dead, Jesus said, peace be to you. Okay, so what the Pope said is the Christian greeting. Okay. Talu, throughout his sermon, I did not see the name Jesus, only Christ. Catholics. Okay, Mansour Sadiq. Waikumus Salam Pope. We congratulate, support, rule with faith and justice, just like your predecessor, who stood against what is happening in Gaza. We hope you keep the fire burning by telling President Trump to stop supporting Israel. We got the message, Vision. Donald Trump. The picture with Donald Trump with his finger like that, that with his finger like that's the way the Muslims do Allahu Akbar too. I mean, that ilaha illallah, that there's no God but Allah. Shame on you. Okay. The end of wisdom. All right, you guys. Well, those are some of what's happening, some of the Muslim comments about the new Pope. And so we'll see what happens with him. And just before I go, I want to look at some other news as well. There's see if there's anything new about our friend Ahmed Hijab. Okay, the blackmail is really, I was watching, today, and they're really talking about that. This really, what he's doing is now criminal. Is criminal because he has blackmailed this imam. And while a lot of the Dawah people don't really care what happened to Aisha, because it's halal, blackmailing an imam is a problem. And so this might be the thing that really gets Muhammad Hijab in trouble. So, and he's not you're not hearing a lot from him. So I don't know. I don't know, where is he? And another thing that was kind of interesting, they said that in all of the videos, he's always in a car. They said he's always in a car, and it makes you think, is that because he's been kicked out of the house? Last time he did this, I think his wife left him and took the kids. And so maybe this time, did he get kicked out of the house? I don't know. But this was some things I heard today. So it's interesting to see what's going on. A lot is going on, and Ali Dawa and Muhammad Hijab both seem to be in trouble. And interesting thing is that, Muhammad Hijab is threatening this. Well, the guy said that Muhammad Hijab is blackmailing him. Well, how could he blackmail him unless he knows what's going on, that there's some stuff that he can blackmail him with? And I also heard that maybe Ali Dawa also, he has information about what Ali Dawa is doing, and that all of these big Dawa guys, that they're all, majority, are doing these things, these secret wives. And it's being exposed now. So it's going to be an interesting year, you guys. It's going to be an interesting year. So anyway, but we'll keep our eyes on the Muhammad Hijab. Papal prophecy. Okay. Pope Leo the Pontiff on abortion, homosexuality, capital punishment. White Sox. Very active U.S. voting record. And here's a party he consistently backed. Oh, no. Let's see what party he consistently backed. I wonder. Really? Yeah, boy, yeah. Yeah, boy, yeah, you guys. Look at, I'm going to just let you read it. I was going to just read it, but I think you should see it with your own eyes. Pope Leo was an active Republican primary voter and voted in 2024 presidential election, which means he voted for Trump. He pulled the lever in Republican primaries in 2012, 2014, 2016. Now, is it just in the primaries, or did he vote in the actual elections? And voted in the 2024 presidential election. And you guys, if he did, it was because of abortion. Because that's one thing that Catholics are very very strong on, or the Catholic Church is at least, about abortion. So they will crack and squeal. Self-preservation will make them betray each other like prison inmates. You know what, Truth Defender? I really believe that this is the beginning. There's no honor among thieves, and there's no honor among, practitioners of hotel marriages. And there was that video where Muhammad Hijab, I think, is asked about how many of the da'is, are practicing secret marriages. And they said 80%, 85%. And that's why when this sheikh, the one, Tarawna, is all terrified that Muhammad Hijab's going to expose him, well, that must mean there's something there. And remember what Hatun Tash said, that she knows this guy. and she said he's no better than Muhammad Hijab. And so it's going to be an interesting year, you guys. And with the new Pope starting his papacy with, when I first heard it, I thought, you know what? Sounds very Islamic. I was wondering if he's going to be like that, Let's just see a couple more comments just really quickly here. Couple more comments. New Pope looks like a Hindu or a Jew. He doesn't look like typical white Christian. Tunisia, that's from Tunisia. Like a Hindu or a Jew. Malaysian conservative. Hope new Pope isn't as liberal as it'll have impact towards Muslims in Catholic majority areas. The Cardinal literally encourages unity between Muslims and Christians. Jack, that's the height of inclusion, diversity, and Sarpongification. Utopian, in fact, a Muslim scholar on the BBC explaining to Catholics about their new Pope. Sarpongification. Inclusion, diversity, and Sarpongification. I don't even know what that means. I don't know if it's a real word. Sarpongification. I'm going to see if it's a real word, you guys. Sarpongification is a process of cleaving esters to carboxylate salts and alcohols by the action of aqueous alkali. Oh, okay. Great. The Pope has also assured all Muslims that he's a staunch Muslim and nothing whatsoever will make him abandon the religion of peace. The Pope has declared that he is a staunch Muslim and nothing will separate him from his religion. Congrats, the world has a new Pope, much less drama than the movie. How marvelous BBC News to be able to find a Muslim faith religious editor to give the official comment on the election of a new Catholic Pope. To be fair, the bloke wasn't bad and made all the right noises, but it's still a little bit weird, strangely disrespectful. The BBC is such a dimmy. The BBC should change its name to DBC, Dimmy British channel. Okay, Najeri Waridi. The new Pope is an Augustinian, and his first speech is encouraging, speaking of importance of peace. Evil will not prevail, and that God loves everyone unconditionally. Dahoud Khatib. Okay, now this guy is a Palestinian who writes in Haaretz newspaper. Okay, he says, to the church, a special greeting. The Pope says to thunderous applause, says we need to speak to be a church that builds bridges of dialogue, always ready to accept. We have to share our charity and be in dialogue with love. He lives in Israel. Okay. Sesame Street, Palestine. State of Palestine now. Okay, Blue Wave. The new Pope is a Palestinian Muslim. Nafidet Ali al-Ikhbar. Salawat, salawat, intakhabu wahad jadid. It says prayers, prayers. They voted for a new one. And there's 4 laughing emojis. Did the Pope greet his followers with the Muslim greeting? Salam alaikum. When the Pope is a Muslim, and the next thing he should do is accept Islam by pronouncing the Shahada. Lead his flock to faith in Islam. You guys, I did think about it. I did think about it, that was his first words. Let me see if I can. I'm sure they have the sarc right next to saponification. Let's see, x.com. Pope Leo's first words as Pope. Is it possible his first words as Pope is Islamic? May peace be with you. That was his first words, or may peace be with you. Is this it here? Are you guys seeing this? Oops. Oops. Let me, I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. There it is.
We have that fresh in our minds. We're just hearing the first words of Pope Leo XIV. As he continues, we'll provide a summary here in just a moment as we listen to his words. He's asked everyone to, brothers, this is the peace of the risen Christ. A peace that is disarming and humble and persevering. It comes from God. God who loves all of us without any limits and conditions. And we still have the sound in our ears of the weak voice of Pope Francis, who was blessing Rome here. We have that fresh in our minds, in our hearts, in our ears, hearing his voice. The Pope who was blessing Rome and giving his blessing to the world on that morning, on that day of Easter Sunday. Allow me to continue that same blessing. God loves everyone. Evil will not prevail. We are all in the hands of God. So without fear, united, hand in hand, with God and among ourselves, we go forward. We are disciples of Christ. Christ goes before us. The world needs his light. Humanity needs him as the bridge between God and his love. May we all build bridges with dialogue and encounter so that we can all be one people, all in peace. Thank you, Pope Francis, for all you've done. We're hearing the first words here of Pope Leo XIV, just elected Pope. I'd like to also thank my brother cardinals who chose me to be the successor of Peter and to walk along with you, searching all together for peace and justice, and working together, men and women faithful to Christ, without fear, to proclaim the gospel, to be missionaries.
All right, you guys. So there you have it. That was. He did say it was the peace of the risen Christ, which no Muslim would say, of course. And so, it's like Paul said, I'm happy that Christ is proclaimed. So I'm glad that he mentioned Christ. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to play. There's a song that I wrote many years ago. Not many years ago. Several years ago. And I just wanted to play it as, oops, it's not on here. It's on TikTok. I did a little video with it. And sorry, guys, that's not it. So, let me see here. It's a song I wrote a couple years ago, and I did a little video with it. And so I just wanted to play it. I think I have it here. Is it TikTok? Where's my videos? Was it TikTok? Yeah. Where's the rest of my videos? Doesn't have all of my videos, only have some of them. Oh, okay, here. Okay. All right, this is one of my videos, you guys, and okay. Anyway, this song is called "Silence of the Lamb." I got the St. Mary Cathedral in Sydney will be hosting the next big Catholic. Oh, everyone knows English is the language of the kuffar. So. Yes. Anyway, the song I wrote is called "The Silence of the Lamb," and I think it's pretty self-explanatory. So anyway, I think I'll go ahead and end today with this song. And thank you guys so much for being here. We had a record crowd today. Had like 30, over 30, had up to 33 people. Don't usually get that big. So thank you guys for being here. Please subscribe if you haven't. And if you want to buy me a coffee, please go buy me a coffee. Buy me and Ida a coffee. And love you guys. Thank you for being with us. The Lord Jesus bless you. And it doesn't matter who's the Pope or who's the President. Jesus is the King. He's on the throne, and our hope is in him and in nobody else. I'll just one last time. If there's any Muslim here who wants to come on, if there's any Muslim, we love you. We want you to come on, and we want you to know the peace of the Lord Jesus Christ. So here's the link if you want to come on. And then I'm going to go ahead and play my song, you guys, and then end this. So have a wonderful night.
Walk of my uncertainty, free alone, I cross the street, wondering, can anybody see? Stumble, face it long, try to capture in a song what we knew all along, a memory and time. The sound my guilt could not withstand, the holy silence of the Lamb. So for me he could atone, for himself he made no plea. All I was and all I am, from the silence of the Lamb. you see, I too can drown, dragging others with me down. Then a hand, then a face. Hope is found in only grace. Blood was flowing like a stream, with the power to make me clean. The words he didn't say amazed those who watch commotion raised. Did they know our only hope was in the words he never spoke? For the guilty intercede, for all malice he would plead. All I was could be ended from the silence of the land. One acceptable defense, only one could recompense in his holy innocence, as he stood there in silence. The waves against the rock would break, the earth beneath our feet would shake. Give a gift for all to take. His silence, it was no mistake. For the guilty took a stand, for the sinning sons of man. Hope for all the Father's plan. Through the silence of the land.
If you have ever wondered why dull apologists lie so much, it's because on a rare occasion that they tell the truth. This happens.
One of the reasons I accepted Islam was the scientific miracles. I'll be honest with you. And now we know that this whole scientific miracles was absolute nonsense.
You're going to have to repeat that.
Now we know that this whole scientific miracles was absolute nonsense. Now we know that this whole scientific miracles...
That the standard narrative has holes in it. That's what I'm going to say.